Hello and welcome to today's video. And my topic for today is how to boost your influence with your audience, or how to boost your influence in your niche, or how to react and respond and relate and resonate with your target market, whatever way you want to look at it. The whole point of this is the word is influence, right? And I want to share with you some thoughts that I think you might find very helpful when it comes to you influencing your target audience, your target market, your niche, okay? But first, I want to dispel a myth. You see, many people regard influence as it's a weapon for people to use to get what they want. And I would like to argue against that very quickly. I mean, for example, it depends on how you put these things together. But I mean, Mother Teresa used a lot of influence, right? But on the other hand, so did Adolf Hitler. They both had huge influences on people. So the point I'm getting at here is, and I'm speaking directly to small marketers in particular, right? But also applies to big ones. And that is this: always moderate the influence you are applying or you have the opportunity to use by balancing it with empathy and understanding. The more powerful you are in your niche, the easier it is for you to manipulate people. And I don't want you to go down that way. In order to avoid manipulating people, go about things and treat people the way that you would like to be treated. Treat them with care, with dignity, with understanding and integrity. That's the important thing. And I'm saying this to you because I'm just about to share with you 6 very powerful ways that you can influence your niche, influence your target audience. But I do not want you to misuse this. Please don't be fooled. What I'm going to share with you is very simple, but don't be fooled by the simplicity, because they are extremely powerful, okay? And they will most definitely help you influence your audience, okay? Hang in there with me because I think you're going to enjoy it. My name is Peter Beckenham, the village marketer, and as always, talking to you from my little Thai village way up near the Cambodian border. And as I always like to do, to stop and just acknowledge some people who've joined me already as live participants with me. And before I forget one, I must give a shout out. A shout out to Gloria Fishman. Gloria is a really good supporter of my Facebook Lives, but she's feeling absolutely terrible right now, and so she can't watch it. So Gloria, thinking of you, and I hope you get better soon. Yvonne Jones is here. Totally different types of influence between both and different results. Love how you add empathy and understanding, treat people the way that absolutely, yeah. I'm talking to Yvonne Jones. Well, I'm not, but I'm whatever we do, Yvonne. The bottom line is Yvonne is an expert in customer relationships and customer service, and I listen to her very carefully. And the point is this: when it comes to the word influence, just understand, and I'm saying this again to you, what I'm about to share you with you is very powerful. Please, please, please don't misuse this power, all right? Mary Gaines Triggs, hello, Mary. Thank you very much for joining me. Lovely to see you. Janet Claire Pacelli, hello, Janet. Thank you very much. I hope Santa Claus is there with you. Anthony, if he is, say a big hello from me, all right? Yola Manana, hello. Thank you. Great to see you, Yola. And I apologize for the time changes, but I'm trying to adjust to make it as easy as I can for you. I mean, you people in the United States and Canada have all these time changes. We never change in Thailand. It's always hot, it's always wet, it's always dry. We never change the clocks. Anyway, what else have we got here? Good morning, afternoon. Yeah, Janet. Yeah. Lynette Chang from Malaysia. Hello, Lynette. Thank you very much. Truly appreciate your ongoing support. You're a very special lady. Sanjay Rao, good to see you, mate, and glad to know that you're feeling better. All right. Thank you very much. If I've missed anyone, my sincere apologies. But also, please, if this resonates with you, what I'm about to share with you, and you feel it could be a benefit to other people, please share it. Please share it with other people. I mean, I'm more than happy to do that, okay? And also leave me comments here, and of course I will respond to your comments. All right, how are we going to start this? It's going back to the founder, to the father of influence, as far as not just social media is concerned, but influence in terms of communities and businesses. And that's Dr. Robert Cialdini, right? Many, many years ago, he wrote this book called Influence. And it's from that book I just want to share with you six very simple but very, very powerful ways that you can influence your market. All right? Robert Cialdini, Dr. Robert Cialdini, okay? The first one is reciprocation. This is when you get the feeling if someone gives you something, you feel sort of not so much obligated, but in a way you do. You feel like you'd like to return that particular gift, that particular generosity, whatever it may be. And I mean, a perfect example of this many years ago, and I'm from Australia, and I used to fly out of Sydney Airport many times, okay? And in Sydney Airport in those days, there was a Hare Krishna, okay? And the Hare Krishna would come around and give you flowers, right? And you say, thank you very much for the flowers. And then in a minute or two later, they'd come back and ask you for a donation, right? This was the power of reciprocation. I mean, you felt almost obliged to put some money in the little thing they gave you, right? But that was my first introduction to reciprocity, for example. Here's another one. You know, at the end of your restaurant meal, when the waiter comes around, for example, and if he or she come around, and if they give you some mints with your bill, right, for example, right, then there may be an element that increases the tip you're going to give them. But what happens if they come back and give you extra mints later, okay, without asking, just giving you extra mints and making sure everyone on the table's got more mints to do? More mints, not mints as in meat, right? When you do that, there's a study done by Cialdini that shows that the actual tip increased by 25% just by bringing back another lot of mints for the table. All right. Another one is, and here I got this one yesterday, right? Free giveaways in supermarkets. Just yesterday, I was in the supermarket, and I'm not a big consumer of pastry pies and things, but there's this very lovely young lady standing there, okay, and that's part of the deal, right? She was very lovely, and she had a lovely smile, and she had this plate of pastries there, and she said, would you please like to try one, sir? Well, what am I going to say? No, thank you. I mean, I could say I don't eat pastries much, but I thought, okay. So I took it, okay? And the point is this, whether I liked it or not, I was almost more than 50% going to buy it, because one, she was so nice, she was so polite, she was so friendly, and she offered this to me, and I had this reciprocation feeling, right? So once again, and by the way, I went and bought them. But I mean, I was convincing myself it was for my granddaughter and my wife, but on the way home in the car, I ate half of them anyway, right? Anyway, so reciprocation is a key thing, okay? And by the way, here's another one. Years ago, well, not that many years ago, I used to get my suits made in Hong Kong by a guy by the name of Sam, and his company, by the way, it's still there, it's called Hong Kong Arts Tailor, okay? Sam owns the place. And this is what he used to do. This is all made to order suits and ties and shirts and everything else, right? When you bought your first suit and tie and shirt that all matched together, he would then give you a gift, right? And the gift was for an additional shirt, and the shirts were all monogrammed, by the way, additional shirt, an additional tie, plus 25% off the next suit, right? What do you think that did to his customers? Of course we went back to him, right? It was reciprocation with a big R. There's no doubt about that, right? But important is this, by the way, if you go to YouTube, here's another one. If you go to YouTube, many people on YouTube will give you some valuable things. Then at the end, they give you a call to action, right? And the call to action is please subscribe with me, or please leave a comment, or whatever it is. And by the way, I'm doing exactly the same thing in this Facebook Live. Hopefully, I'm going to give you some value, and at the end, I'm going to give you a call to action, and I'm hoping that you'll accept the call to action, and that's part of the deal, right? That's hoping that you might feel that you need to reciprocate with something that you got from me, all right? But key point, make sure that whatever you do is genuine, okay? And what I'm trying to do here and what you ought to be doing in your business is give without expectation. Give without expectation. That's a very important thing, right? Number 2 of Cialdini's influence is to get people to commit with consistency, and just to commit at a small level, not at a big level, just a little level, just a small level. Because if you can get them to commit at just a little level, they're more likely, right? They're more likely to continue to do that in the future. And no names, no factual here, but one of my clients is starting up a new venture. And one of the things that I'm doing with him is, and I'm asking him to commit, okay, and be consistent, to send me every morning and every afternoon, okay, the 3 key points that he's hoping to achieve that day and what he did. In other words, I'm going to hold him accountable to those things. And the objective of the exercise is at the end of 30 days, I'm pretty darn certain that he will be doing exactly what he's writing down anyway, okay? So commitment and consistency, taking small steps at a time to do that, all right? And of course, and the point is this, small yeses lead to big yeses, right? Make sense? Small yeses lead to big yeses, okay? And of course, I mean, here's another example. The ice bucket challenge, right? That was an example of commit and consistency, because, I mean, did you do it? I did the bucket of water thing, but that was all part of the social media, social challenges, tying it up with commitment and consistency and the idea to carry on what they're trying to do. The third influencing factor from Cialdini, social proof. For example, the one I just saw and I wrote it down. This was on today's today's online paper that I read, and it says this: join 57 smart investors just like you. Okay, to blah blah blah. It's a form of social proof. It's a form of trying to compliment you. It's a form of trying to make you feel, ooh, maybe you're good, better than you are, etc. Here's another one of social proof. This is perfect on Amazon, okay? Which, by the way, Amazon's put a lot of people in trouble right now. I heard even Sears Roebuck's in trouble because of Amazon. Anyway, that's by the way. Amazon say this: people who bought X, right, also bought Y. You've seen that yourself, right? This is a form of social proof, right? It's a form of social proof, right? Social media. I can tell you right now, social media is the single biggest driver of making decisions right now. The way people are talking about you and your product or your services or what they're sharing about you are truly influential about whether other people will do business with you. I take a risk every time I do a Facebook Live, right? Because I might create some gaffes or upset people or whatever it may be, because what you see is what you get with me, right? But at the end of the day, I'm hoping that most people will find what I share is a positive thing, and in so doing, that'll help my influence in the marketplace using my people who follow me on a regular basis, okay? I hope that makes sense. And of course, another form of social proof is testimonials, right? Really, I mean, that builds even more impact with your audience. Number 4, liking. Now, you can't influence your audience if they don't like you, right? And I don't mean you just need to be liked only, but if they don't like you, then you're not going to influence them anyway, right? That's why, for example, many companies use very attractive models, males and females, for that reason, right? Because they want to grab people's attention and they'll like them, okay? Or, as I mentioned earlier, the complement approach, right? Join 200,000 smart investors just like you, blah, 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 right? That's a liking thing, right? Another one is community groups. I mean, in a community group, there's common similarities, etc. there. And the idea then is if you can set up one of these groups, like a Facebook group, like a LinkedIn group, if you can create one of those groups for yourself and encourage people to work together, to share with each other, to grow together, whatever it may be. And you being the founder of that group, that helps your influence on that group significantly. You don't have to sell to them, okay? They just know you're there. And whenever you do offer some sort of your services, they will definitely listen to you, okay? Liking. Number 5, authority, okay? This is the 5th one of Cialdini. And the point is that people follow leaders. That's what they do. They follow leaders. And people who are seen as authorities in the marketplace are the things that people gravitate towards. They gravitate towards authorities. But they gravitate towards authorities who are in fact approachable. In other words, who are in fact not way up here in some stratosphere, right? But people they can resonate with and at the same time recognize them as an authority. Very important, right? Very important. I mean, even things like titles and diplomas, that helps, okay, in terms of your authority. Think about that, right? And you have all got a title. If you've got a business, you founded the darn thing. You can call yourself a founder. You can call yourself a CEO, whatever you want to call yourself. I mean, you've got a title you can use, which will help in some small way with your influence with your target audience, all right? And of course, another common one is clothing and uniforms. I mean, all I've got to do is put a white coat on, right? Probably put something looks like a stethoscope in my pocket. And I've got an immediate impact on people, okay, when you think about it. So uniforms and clothing can be a huge factor in terms of influencing your marketplace. All right. One last thing I want to share with you in terms of authority, and this is really, really for people who feel like they can't become an authority because they're too new or it's too hard or whatever it is, okay? Here's the answer to you. Leverage other people's power and authority, right? Leverage other people's power and authority. For example, what am I doing right here today? I'm sharing with you principles from Robert Cialdini, the master of influence, right? I'm sharing from his book. And in so doing, I'm hoping not only am I giving you some value, but secondly, you may be associating me in some small way, not to the level of Cialdini, but as someone who may know what they're talking about when it comes to influence, all right? Or another thing you can do, if you're really struggling with yourself in terms of, I don't know whether I can ever become influential, here's another one you can do. Interview somebody who you believe is better than you. And especially if they are some sort of authority in your marketplace. People, I can tell you, people love to be interviewed if you're going to promote them and their services. And if you can do a little interview with them, guess what? It'll rub off on you, okay? It'll rub off on you. And in other words, you will become regarded by your audience, okay, as some sort of authority because of association with the authority that you interviewed. Make sense? So think about that. Don't dismiss it out of hand. The last one, in terms of influence, is scarcity, okay? Scarcity basically means this. We tend to assume that if things are hard to get, then they're normally of higher quality. Here is a specific example. With a Thai silk business we run, many years ago, well, not that many years ago, a few years ago, okay, we decided to do two things. We decided to, one, we increased the price. We doubled the price, okay? Because, to be quite frank, we were too darn cheap. And it was high quality silk, right? And when we compared what our silk was to the charges and the prices being charged in Italy, for example, we were way out of whack. So we doubled our prices. And at the same time, we also informed any customer we had, they had to go on a waiting list, right? They actually had to go on a waiting list because it's all handmade. Interesting point, okay? When people went on a waiting list and as soon as the stock became available, right, they bought it, boom, like that, at double the price. In other words, our sales revenues went up by more than 175% because we created scarcity. Now, you can do the same thing, right? whether it's with prices or with availability, whatever it may be. I mean, many people do this. For example, sometimes you'll see a website and like a travel website, okay, for example, and they say only 2 seats remaining at this price, right? That's influencing on you. If you're going to travel that place, there's a pretty darn good bet you're going to pick up that thing, because it's scarcity. There's only 2 left, right? And it's where you want to get to, and it suits you down to the ground. So the scarcity factor impacts on you significantly. All right. One last point. You can actually create scarcity yourself. Make yourself scarce. In other words, share with people. You are happy to help them, but you only have limited time available to do it. Okay? If you're available every minute of every day, then people aren't going to appreciate you anyway, because they think you've got nothing else to do, right? But if you limit the time you've got available, then people might think, wow, they're busy, okay? And if they're busy, they must be good, right? Hear the thinking? And because people like to deal with busy people, all right? And of course, the other ones, which you see all the time, which is the limited time thing, okay? Buy one, get one free for just this week, okay? Buy one, get one free for just this week. I just saw that this morning in an electrical shop in a town just near us. Buy one, get one free. I'm thinking, you're going to get a free TV with that? But then I read the fine print. Buy one, get one free. Man, you buy the TV and they will give you not a TV, but they will give you some other remote control factor that comes with it. All right. Anyway, that was as an aside. Another way of creating scarcity is by special invitation only. This is where you can reward people with some specific incentives, right? If they've been really good customers, surprise them. Really surprise them, okay? And do something special for them. Go out of your way to do that and create something special for them. That will also impact and influence your audience, and particularly your customers, okay? All right, so there's 6 ways that I hope you can understand the ways you can influence your target audience, influence your marketplace. I hope you found them helpful. And as I earlier mentioned to you, here is my call to action. And if I've given you enough value, perhaps you may feel from a reciprocity point of view that you might want to do what I'm about to ask you to do, all right? But I know some of you have already done it, all right? My call to action is this. I have a Facebook group called Your Next Level. If you're interested in taking you and your business to the next level, check us out on Facebook and come and join us. There you go. Very simple sale, right? Thank you for sharing your valuable time with me. I always appreciate it. And until next time, all the best. Bye for now.